this is Celeste, aka Joanna. I prefer Celeste. Celeste is my 5D name. I just want to get that little, I'm OCD on the background. How is everybody? Everybody. We're going to have beautiful summer hours. So, and our summer energy and our summer information and our summer beauty out there. We're so very happy to see all the flowers out and the peony bushes just blooming and blossoming. If you're lucky to have a peony bush in your garden, take care of them. They're so fragile and they're so beautiful and gentle. So we just love the peony bushes and all the beautiful nature that Gaia shows us how to soften into. So we're so happy about all of the beautiful summer feasts that we have on our beauty. We wanted to kind of talk about perceiving the beauty that's in Gaia, especially in the summertime. Gaia is so full in her blossom and her bloom in the summertime. So really take notice of Gaia's offering for the summertime. It helps us raise our vibration because of all the scents that she offers, that sensual healing. I think it's called clairtangents. We're going to talk about the clairs today too. We're going to talk about the clairs. I'm going to do all my channeled notes because I can't keep getting distracted. I promised myself today, that was one of my promises, was not to get distracted and read off my notes. Oh, the mtDNA. Too, we're just going to go through my notes on that from our previous video. So that's why I say go back and watch the videos a couple of times, because sometimes I'll talk about the written notes that I've done. And the written notes that I've done that kind of go back, you know, to the things we did. So the smelling is clairalience, that's right. So the clairalience and clairtangents is that's the psychometry. So that's when you're touching anything that is a physical object. Even that's on, you can do that on land. I do that where I go on my sacred travels. So when I do my sacred traveling, the places that I'm in just send me information and stories, and then I just update those stories from old, you know, the information we have on our planet right now is all 3D older stories. So my intention is to, everywhere I go on these spots, is to bring a higher you know, kind of like a clear cognizant and what you're tuning into of the land and the energies of the land and how it's transformed, because literally, and all of the channels, the top channels have talked about this, literally every moment for moment for moment, we're on a different earth. So the energies that you're reading from that earth are completely different because the energies are different. We're co-created every minute. And so this is one of the statements that a lot of people have, you know, kind of bending their minds, but it is actually true. You're on an entirely new earth every moment. And so the energies that were on that sacred site way back when the a lot of the Egyptology books were you know, written and then rewritten and written and rewritten. If you look at Egyptology, it's one of the main studies that has not really changed that much. And it really needs to. There needs to be more psychics and more, you know, more seers and more energy workers like myself to go to these places. And we just noticed the 20 people signing on all at once here. And so all of those experiences that you're going to these places, but the energy is that has been written about has changed very little. So there needs to be more, you know, those energetic people to go to those spaces and to read the energies that are appropriate for the now moment. Because as I said, we're changing and shifting earths every minute based on the vibration. As your consciousness raises, your consciousness is everything. Whatever consciousness level you're at will dictate the earth that you're going to be on. And so it's always about your core vibration. So we're going to do a little bit of how to protect your fields and how to protect your chakras. How to clear your fields and how to clear your chakras. Those are basic maintenance and sustenance tips. So your multidimensional systems, your multidimensional aspects of yourself, it's really important to do on a daily basis, especially now that we're moving closer and closer to the 5D window. We're moving closer and closer to the Lion's Gate. It's really, really important to keep your daily maintenance, just like brushing your teeth, clearing your fields, clearing your chakras, and allowing yourself to stay aligned. As you do so, you're always transmuting the energies that are also within the omnipresent, which is in the collective. There's a lot of collective purging that's going on right now. That's why you're going to see things and pockets of things kind of be pulled up and burped up. And that is too what there's been a couple of earthquakes and volcanoes. Those are just the land shifting that Gaia is helping with to release some of the negative energies that have been created in certain spots. And it's also helping with the grids as well. It's all correlated. It's all, you know, they're all related to the energies that we're keeping on our planet. And when there's big shifts in our consciousness, the land and the plates, if you will, Gaia is releasing and helping as best as possible. So it's really, really important that every day You take note and you do your maintenance and your sustenance on your multidimensional fields, your chakra systems, and how are you nourishing yourself. So nourishing yourself is going to be so important. You're a physical, multi-physical being, multidimensional being, as I've stated in my #1 book. And I'm really, really thankful for all of those that have put in over the years the reviews of my books. I wouldn't necessarily trust too many of the reviews that might go on now because there's been so many organized hate groups. So just know that they're doing everything they can right now and everything in their power to throw, of course, as you can see by the comments and all that. So people that do spell work and are just doing everything they can to destroy you. But there were some people, you know, when my books first came out and all of the beautiful reviews that were the original, more transparent and honoring people that truly want to learn and want to grow. And there will be refinements out because there will be charges laid on those that have been doing so much abuse in the dark occults, and they've been doing so much abuse with their spell work and the attacks on me and other light workers. So there will be charges laid and there will be arrests made. Unfortunately, there has been, you know, the social makeup of our system, the policing and judicial that's all been involved, and they've all been getting paid. So again, they're not too quick to pull the trigger on anything because they're also getting paid by all of these corruptions in the communities that do start off at the very top, because the very top knew who I was. The communities wouldn't have known who I was unless the top dogs were directing it. So. But it will be what it will be. The source creator is the purveyor, if you will, and source creator has its thumb on it all. So there's nobody that will be escaping their karma. And we do pray for all of those that think that hate and attacking divine feminine healers is the way to go. It's not going to be much of a world if you just have men that are wounded that refuse to heal. It's going to be a world of trafficking and extinction. And so if that's the world that everybody wants, and that's the world that these people are driving so much targeting and so much hate and so much attention and so much obsession for their world to remain as the wind, and the governments and the politics and the various groups that are supporting certain technological warfare, all of those experiences, if that's the world they want, then there will be a shift to Epstein Earth, and that's what they'll get because that's their intention. If there is no balance with divine feminine, if there is no balance with higher vibrational light wisdoms, if there is not a momentum going forward with the social experiences, then it will stay stagnant in the intellect. And it just will. If you're not having light wisdoms and you don't have any higher consciousness, that's exactly what it will be. And so people that remain in satanic conjuring, devil worshiping, sacrificing, dark occultism, and all of those experiences, they are not advancement and they're not evolutionary. And so there's only one outcome for that, and that is extinction and entropy. And so you can't get to a higher consciousness. You'll never, and that's why, again, those people that think when they're doing all their conjuring, they're doing all their sacrificing, they're going to take somebody that's of high consciousness that's going through 5D gates, and they think that this 5D person is going to give a low vibrational, very, very low vibrational 3D person. They couldn't handle it. They would go insane. The psyche and the brain structure just in and of itself. A 5D person, and what the 5D person can understand and what it can understand in a vision. If I get a download from Source Creator and I'm given a multi-dimensional vision, I can explain it as best I can in 3D. Saying we've got 3D words and we've got these experiences, but it's my codes and it's my energy that offers that multi-dimensional experience for those that are ready. And those that just keep coming on, that are the lowest vibration, and they just keep coming on to spew hate, they just keep coming on because they're paid to come on. They come on because they just like enjoying tearing people down because that's where they sit. They could never, ever step a second into my consciousness. They just couldn't. They couldn't step into a second of my light. They just couldn't. The matter body, the physical brain and how the brain wires thoughts back and forth, it has not been enhanced. It has not been entrained. If you're not entraining your brain to higher capacity and aptitude, you're going to find 5D, even those that have been on Ascension, if we're not stretching and if we're not training that 5D consciousness to see, to know, to be, to accept, to know that you can bilocate, to know that you can create something from thought, to know that in a building structure that looks like it's matter, you can extend the walls when you get inside because it's your consciousness building it as you go. Those types of things are multidimensional. They're non-linear. And those sitting in this type of space where they have been just entrained, and that's how their brain works, is just linearity, black and white, hate and hate. There's no way they could ever carry anything that I have. They just couldn't. That's why I've had to be trained and initiated far more than these people have ever done. Their expertise is hate and death. That is not high consciousness. High consciousness is the creation and evolution and stretching of life and light. It's complete polar opposites. There's no way they could do anything. They would actually be like, they'd actually look like vegetables. These people are so misguided and they're so misunderstood. They're just fed by hate. They're fed by the energy of hate, and that's why they get together and they conjure and they do what they do. These people would end up being vegetables, and many of them are going into mental impairments and mental imbalances, because the light, even just the bare minimum light on the planet is forcing these people to continually have ego deaths and egos. Plus the ancestors and my ancestors are, they're doing a once over on everybody that's been involved, and my ancestors are, really involved with bringing karma to these people, because they're just refusing to stop the hate, and they're refusing to stop the attacks on me. And so let it unfold. Let it unfold. And those people that are going to keep continuing loss, they're going to keep experiencing loss. They have nobody to blame, whether it's the governments and the judicial systems and the cities that are refusing to do what's right, because they know what's being done behind the blind eye, and they know that there's certain people that are being paid, and they're keeping these corrupt criminal people that do so many corrupt things. If they're not doing anything about these people that are criminally acting in the communities, and they know their intentions are criminal intentions, malicious intentions, they're doing criminal acts behind the closed doors just because they think it's dark occult and nobody can see them and nobody's aware of them. Everybody's being watched by the highest of the heavens, and there are watchers of humanity, and those that are not, they're not abiding by basic common law, do unto others, and they think it's a big joke and they think it's a big game, and then they do their exploitation in the black web and they make money off of these things. Everything that they do will just keep cementing them into Epstein Earth, and they will never ever have another 3D body or higher. They just won't. They'll stay forever in darkness until they just mold into what is known as the dark mud realm, which is like hell. It's not really fiery or anything. It's just dark and going nowhere. There's no movement in that realm because there's no light. Light oscillates. Darkness doesn't oscillate. That's why when your chakras are only dark, that your chakras don't oscillate. Your chakras just stay small and slow, and you get sick. If there's no light oscillating in your body, you will get sick. And if you're not feeding it light, and all you are is around dark-ass people, when all you do is conjure, and you hate people, and you're trying to figure out where you're going to conjure next, and who you're going to target next, and who you're going to take out next, and who you're going to get insurance from next, how you're going to lie next. There's so much energy that's being spent on darkness. It doesn't make any sense at all. Where you just surrender into who you are naturally, and you just bring truth. When you bring truth, that's why when people actually go in, when they're doing, like, say, a 12-step program, anybody that is going through, well, I've woken up now, I really want my life back, I don't want to take advantage of my life anymore, I want to appreciate life, I want to be grateful for who I am and what I've got. They actually go through the process of making things right. When they go through and make things right, they actually feel better, and they actually start creating better health for themselves, because they've cleared out the densities within their bodies, within their tissues. They've relieved the weight that's sitting on their energy field. They relieve the weight that's pressing in on them. Because the spiritual conscience of who you are, is always spiraling. The spiritual conscience of you is saying all you're doing is you're making yourself into an early grave. You're pressing yourself into an early grave with all this weight, with all this heaviness. That's not who you are. Your conscience is always telling you, your conscience is your spirit saying that's not necessary. It's not necessary for you to lie. Be who you are. Take off the masks. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Take off your mask. You're meant to be uniquely you. So if you're around people that don't accept you, if you're around people that are always hating you and telling you you're nothing and telling you you're worthless and saying that what you're doing is not going to work, then get away from those people. If they're telling you and showing you that they're not accepting you, move. You have to still be your unique self. It's not you, it's them. So don't ever think that why would you ever change yourself to be around people that are hateful and obviously self-loathing. So this is where ascension pathwork is vital, because every rung of ascension, you're going to be faced with making decisions that are going to be for your greater good and nobody else. And that's what it's for. Don't be a people pleaser, and don't be especially with anybody and any group and any fraction, whether it's a government, the people that are within these, smaller sect societies that have been doing testing and human experimenting, there is no legal right to do any of it. There has never been any legal right to do any type of a government program. We are now 5D, and we're entering into 5D through universal law. And there's no universal law that states you can do human testing and human experimenting on anybody. You cannot do technological warfare. And there's going to be whistleblowers that will come out. I'm predicting it right now. There's going to be whistleblowers come out from every level, from the top dog all the way down to the little fucking minions. There's going to be whistleblowers on every level that are going to come out and say exactly what they've been involved with and who is the director of it. Whether they're technological warfare, whether it's Area 51, whether it's the little minions in their little tiny cults and covens in their little tiny cities that are bringing nothing but cancer and darkness to the city. By their deeds, the amount of energy and the amount of negativity that's being conjured in these cities, make no mistake, there will be natural effects, natural disorder. And natural disorder is what? If you're not falling into natural order, there will be natural disorder. And what is that? Volcanoes, earthquakes, floods. You have to understand Gaia is a consciousness being, and she's wise, and she will do whatever she takes to move forward in her ascension. She has that right. She's been given that right as a planetary body in a galaxy that's holding many, many other planets. And they rely on Gaia to ascend. Those planets rely on Gaia to ascend for the galaxy to move where it needs to move. Just as if, micro, macro, the holographic reality, every little change that you make affects the all. So you're sitting down and working in self-love and working in, okay, what am I going to work on next? I'm really excited to work on this, this, and this. Everything that you're doing to make your life better and your life great in alignment for you. What do you exist within exists within you? And you're aligning to a higher soul's blueprint. What is your vocation? What are your excitements? You're not going to have a timeline, every single timeline where you're on stage all the time being the star and being the superpower. Why would you do that? You're meant to learn, and why we have different timelines and different lifetimes. Because some lifetimes you're meant to just to sit the fuck down. The only reason why people wish this for themselves is because they have no sense of self-love, and they see that stars and they see that famous people get a certain amount of attention. They want the attention. They're not giving it to themselves, and nobody's giving it to them because they don't know who they are. They're not attracting love because there's no love within them. There's no light within them. So they want all these things that the outer thing kind of looks like it has. But you're not doing anything to do it and be it for yourself. And nobody has a soul blueprint where a source creator and your soul would never say, why don't we do the same thing every timeline in every lifetime for the next 20 years? You're going to be the same person, the same thing. You're going to have the same body. You're never going to be male or female. You're never going to be born on East and West. You're never going to be born on the black or white. You're going to have one timeline and one timeline only. You're going to be a single white male in your 50s for your whole entire lifetimes for every timeline that you ever have. So all you'll ever experience is being a white male. How would your soul evolve? How would your soul ever evolve if you never knew how to be a divine feminine? How would your soul ever evolve if you never knew what it was like to be an elder of an indigenous tribe? How would you know what it would ever feel? How would you ever evolve if you never had any other experiences? If all you experiences was conjuring hate and sitting on a satanic sacrificing table saying, who are we going to get this week? We need some more insurance money. Our funds are running kind of low. Oh, let's do some more black web exploiting. Let's see if we can create some more death and some more snuff videos. This is the vulgarness of humanity. This is the vulgarness. This is the belly. This is the underbelly. This is the outhouse that humanity has to look at it. What we've manifested as the outhouse, the place that stinks, the place that is darkness. It is where all the wounds sit. It is where all the darkness is. It is who is involved in it. It is how has been involved in it. And the ones that are being attacked and targeted, and the ones that have the highest protection and the highest help from the heavens are the light workers and the truth tellers and the seers. And we've been made out from our entire lives as if we are so different. we're so different that we're crazy, or we're this or we're that, or we're this or we're that. And we have these energy bubbles, and then we have those people in our so-called family and friends where they're being paid to do hexes and curses on us, and they're being paid and they're being programmed to hate us, and keep hating us and keep hating us. Let's just try and keep taking them out and put every hex and curse and spell on them that we can. We'll do glamour spells, we'll do jar work, we'll do mirror work, we'll poison their food. I mean, there's infinite things that have been done to me and many other light workers. Because we are here to bring forward the higher light wisdoms to change the systems that are not working for anybody but the ones in the systems. So how does that work for the disenfranchised? Why do we even have disenfranchised? If this was a society that was working, we would not have disenfranchisement. Does that not make sense, dear lighted ones? Is that not just a statement of tangible intelligence? That's a statement of intelligence. If our social systems were working, there would not be disenfranchisement. Where does disenfranchisement come from? Where does the stem of disenfranchisement? Discrimination. And what is discrimination? It's the wounding of separatism, built on fears that oneself is not accepted within oneself. That's the core vibration of discrimination. It is a fear base against oneself to the all. Why? Well, because there's been ostracization, there's been bullying, there's been no sense of love in the house, there's been no sense of love in the early primary years. It's shown very skewed belief systems of how you get accepted and how you get loved and how you get awarded and how you get rewarded, how you get affection, love and affection for the multidimensional bodies to grow and to be nourished. And there's been lots of scientific studies about that with plants and water. The effects of negative energy on water and plants. There's lots of studies out there. Go do your research. And we all know that is the occurrence of the psychology, whether its psychology is very positive and loving and growing and expansive and has a ton of capacity and a ton of aptitude. If your psychology is really wealthy and really well nourished, if you're well nourished by source and yourself, you don't necessarily need a lot outside of you, but it still is needed because you're in a social collective. You still need to know that you are loved and you're accepted and that you have a good tribe. And this is why right now it's going to be very pivotal for those that choose to move forward in eternal life. There is a shifting out moment for moment for moment. So if you're going to sit down and discern for yourself what is positive and what is good for you, not just because it's good for you for the money, what is good for you on this, what is good for you at a soul level? And you need to start working that out. What is good for you on a soul level? Who nourishes you at a soul level? What nourishes you at a soul level? Because from here on out, it is all about your soul. It's all about your spiritual development. If you're not, there has to be that cognizing. You have to cognize that. You have to cognize the fact you're on a spiritual journey. That is the awakening process through all time. It matters not what dimension, it matters not what realm you're in, it doesn't matter what body you have. You are always going to be on a spiritual journey. Between here and the end of all creation, you will always be on a spiritual journey. You just will. You always are. You're always on a spiritual journey. You're always on a spiritual journey. And if you say that to yourself, the little tiny things that come up in your life are going to be superfluous. You're going to let them go a lot easier. You are always on a spiritual journey. And that spiritual journey has you looking at who you are, looking at what you exist within, and looking at what exists within you, and how can you nourish within. Because the outer will no longer nourish you. It's being broken up and it's being remade. It can't be remade if people are still in disconnection of who they are with spirit. Because we want to make better systems that nourish us as spirit. That's been the whole problem. Our social systems for 5,000 years have been disconnected from who we are as spirit. Spirit is not church and state. It is a fraction of what is a manifestation of our spirit, but that's been an immature spiritual experience because it's based on a spiritual thinking and a thought experience that you go in a church and you're spiritual for an hour. You talk about deities and you talk about the heavens and you talk about the places people go to pray. And then there's been a lot of corruption in that. And we all know there has been. There's infinite number of stories out there, and go do your research about the number of crimes and corruptions in churches. Because they're great places to mask what really goes on behind closed doors, because there's broken and wounded people that refuse to get healed. Everything that we talk about comes to one core issue. Are you self-loving yourself as source? Knowing that all outside of you is source, It's a reflection holographic reality. You are a soul and you are a spirit. Are you loving yourself as source? And if you're not doing such things, to know such things, to be such things, to explore, express, and experience such things, then you will find yourself just manifesting in karmic patterns as a human in a body, disconnected from your spirit or soul, that you're not really integrating, you're not really harmonizing, you're not really getting, you're not really cognizing, you're not really at any consciousness level, you're not challenging yourself to know and to be and experience yourself as source, as spirit. There are so many people that say, well, I meditate. There's a lot of people that meditate that don't connect with spirit. They just sit in silence. And that is meditative and that is spiritual in and of itself. But when I'm talking about spirit and the connection with spirit, it is an essence. It is a tangible biochemical, it is a tangible biophysical experience. You can feel the vibrations running through your hands. You can feel spirit bless you. You can feel spirit give you goosebumps. That is the tangibility that you are spirit. You're activating spirit. This is what I say. Your cells and your body is listening to you. Your cells and your body are showing you that you absolutely are spirit and you're connecting with spirit as you speak it. And as you get better at communion and harmonizing with Source Creator, your body's going to turn on as soon as you start to speak. That's why many of us have had eons and our entire lifetimes with nothing but, people throwing karma at our throats, because our throats are very powerful. We have the power of life in our voice, and everybody knows that I do, the ones that have been trying to silence me. And they've done technological warfare, they've done everything that they can. They can hire the best voodooists on the planet, and they have hired the best practitioners on the planet, and everybody is going to have their karma roll out. Because I do have my right to be who I am. I do have my rights. Those are my birthrights. When I was breathed onto this planet, into this galaxy, into this realm, that is my birthright. My birthright is to be exactly who I'm going to be. That is my birthright. And my throat chakra is been trained and entrained and has codes in it from the entire multiverse that is necessary and absolutely needed in this realm. Far beyond anything else. Everything that is in you, your chakras, the gifts, the skills, the blessings that are in your chakras, the gifts, the skills that are blessings that are in your DNA that get activated through light. We talk about the DNA activations all the time. What are they? How do they affect your body? How do they affect your multidimensional body? What are your symptomologies? We talk about the symptomologies of a DNA activation. Go back to my videos. I've had many videos on these things. So all of these things that you get activated on are part of the multidimensionality that is showing you and proving to you that you're spirit. Your brain has to get enhanced and has to get rewired, has to get upgraded, because your brain now has to think in a multidimensional way, not a linear way. A, B, C, D, E. That's how we've been trained. We've been trained to put together a piece of block. You get this block and then you put that block and then you put that block. That's linear. 5D is not linear. It's exactly multidimensional now. It's always now, it's always now, it's always multidimensional. The power of your consciousness. And you cannot raise your consciousness unless you are not working with light. If you're not working with light, your consciousness will never raise. It just won't. It's a misnomer. You won't ever raise your consciousness if you are constantly living in darkness. If you refuse to get out of darkness, if you refuse to change, if you refuse to look at your beliefs and your perspectives, you will never raise your consciousness. You simply won't. And then it will be a shift off. You will not continue in the same earth that I will. Just won't. The haters will not continue in the earth that I will be on. They will be shifted out. And they will be with other haters. If you want to do a proposal, this probably isn't the right platform for a proposal, sweetheart. It probably isn't a proposal. This isn't the right platform for a proposal. Especially when I'm talking about, dark occultism and those people that do sacrifices on you. But it's very sweet of you. And so that's just the understanding. That's just the understanding of light and dark. You're not going to raise your consciousness if you're working in the dark occults. You're just not. And there has to be an understanding of universal laws. We are now entering universal gates. And those universal gates have us look at who we are as a universal being so that we can prepare ourselves for our galactic families and our universal families. These universal families, just to let you know, this is what I've been told by the Commander Ashtar, the Ashtar Command, and by Mother, Father, God, the systems of light. Those that choose to not be a part of the systems of light and eternal life, there are certain protocols and certain benefits. Obviously, it's just like, working with light, there's a benefit to it. You get health, you get all these things. So part of the not so good, and this is what I've been told, this is a caveat, and everybody should know this. It is very true. These are truths, because you can't play both sides. If you so choose to continue the hate and the degradation and the games that are being played out there right now with spiritual warfare, with dark occult warfare, if you choose to continue that and not abide by the universal laws, you will not be ever supported by the galactic federations, ever. Until you choose to return back to light and accept light into your life, which if you go farther down than 3D is, it's the darkest lower realm. Again, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, because again, we're not going to be offered, and we will never be offered an ascension. This is it. This is a very profound experience for all humanity. So if humanity refuses, there are some aspects of humanity that won't awaken. They will refuse it and they will continue to stay in their dark, offering to go to dark. And that's where it will stay. There won't be an opportunity to come into light ever. There won't be reincarnations. The only reason why you reincarnate is to get the soul lessons. You don't just reincarnate into 3D and have there's going to be a 3D Earth always going to be there. No, there isn't. There isn't. Our universe is ascending. There are lower universes, and those lower universes, those people that are shifting off will go into that lower universe. They're not in this universe. And that lower universe will have the lower vibrational realm of 3D. They've even gone lower in 3D. The amount of intentional harm, the intentional raping, the intentional abuse of technologically warfare, the intentional abuse of spiritual energy, a spiritual life force, they've gone lower. That's why they're dying and their bodies are just decaying. There's like the mental capabilities. These people are being eaten by their demons and they're becoming demons. That's why there has to be the shift off. This universe is being refined in light. This universe is being refined in energy and cognization of your intelligence, of your consciousness, which is light. So if you're not going to choose to practice in light, you're not going to choose to raise your consciousness, you're not going to have an intentional heart experience with Source Creator. I intend to have light in my life. I intend this. You won't be supported by galactic federations, and you will be open because your guides and your teams are not going to support you and they're not going to be with you. And they will move in to help other people that are on the consciousness journey of light integration and consciousness eternal life through Christ consciousness, through the consciousness of Metatronic light. They want to expand. They've done a lot of work, and some of the lineages of ancestry are moving over to help other people. You will not be protected, that which means you'll be open to whatever deity and energy that you've conjured. So just know that. So people that have, again, there's so much arrogance and ignorance on this planet. There's just so much misguidance and misinformation when it comes to religions and spirit and energy. And people are absolutely walking themselves off a cliff with all this magic and dark occult practices that they have no idea. They're so misinformed. There is, yes, an absolute, you have to understand the shadow, and you have to understand how to work with the shadow. That's absolutely, you have to have that within your integration. There's nobody that will go through Ascension without integrating their shadow. And sometimes, yes, you will tap into and touch into the dark occultism. Yes, so honor it and understand it and know it. Don't make it your living practice and getting paid for it and making your living out and your vocation out of it. Because then you're intending through those negative energies, you're intending that to be your vocation, and that's what you're spiraling in, and that's what your karma is. Therefore, you're going to be shifted off. There's a difference. There's a difference between understanding dark occultism and how it operates within the grander option of the whole. You have to know through going through, like I was tested. I was tested with all world leaders. I was initiated with all world leaders. I had to go through similar tests as they did. I went through similar, I even went through more. And I was tested to see, would I use the gifts that I have for pain and harm to any? And I didn't. I'm still unblemished. And they're saying, yes, that's correct. So at this point, I'm still unblemished. I haven't done anything to intentionally hurt or harm anybody with my gifts. I know how to work with energy. I know how to work with nature. I know how to work with weather. I can assist the weather to calm down. I can assist the weather to rise up. I can assist the weather to help it rain. I can do this. I'm practicing with Gaia, and I'm still honoring my gifts and skills, and I'm still practicing to work with my shamanism as I've done in many other lifetimes. That's consciousness. Consciousness gives this to you. There are those that abuse it. And then there are those that have governments and technology that abuse it. And they will be the ones moved off. They're not making the choice of higher consciousness because all they see is they want their win. They want their win. They want to study me. They want to control me. They want to do this. They want to dominate me. They want to make sure that I'm having my path the way they want it. It's not their fucking choice. My life is my life. If I want to go to the bathroom now, I'm going to go to the bathroom now. If I want to make love with somebody, I'm going to make love with the person I want to choose. I'm going to choose that person. You're not going to place them in front of me as a test or an initiation or to see if they can infect me with their fucking diseases because it's a part of your dumbass scheme in your dark ass world. No, I actually get to live my life the way I want to live it. And why not? Why does everybody get to walk around, seemingly, and they get to walk around and do and be as they wish, but my life gets tested and sabotaged on every level? Everything before me, the food before me if it's tampered with, the water before me if it's tampered with, the people before me if it's tampered with, and every part of my life gets dissected, gets targeted and attacked, and the officials in the city and the government and the policing, they know it. And there's been fabrications, there's been illegal things that go on where my life has never been my fucking life. It's everybody's game. They make money in the underground. They make money on their betting. They make money in their bidding. They're bidding back and forth to cults and cultures. And yet these people are now trying to have my head taken off because they owe their cults and cultures because I'm not dying. And their monies aren't going back and forth. So somebody's got to owe somebody. So that means the target on my head and my body is even more. And do the police care? Do the authorities care? Do the Interpol investigations care? Does anybody give a fuck about these organized global hate groups that have been organized under utter ignorance? They don't know what they're doing and they're being misguided on a mass scale. And where are the leaders concerned for their people and their land when these cancerous people are in cities intentionally infecting people with sexual diseases that you cannot get rid of and that will be of demise? That's just one of the things that they do. There's many other things that they do that have hurt and taken out many people, like practicing sacrificing. They have to practice sacrificing. What does that mean? Well, that means that they actually need people to practice on. That means that, yeah, they've realized that, yes, sacrificing does work because they've sacrificed a couple of people before me. I was supposed to be victim number 9, just in that one city, in that one cult. I was supposed to be number 9, and of course they couldn't take me. So the bidding back and forth and the underground marriages and the underground false marriages, they're going to marry you to this person, which is in a different cult. So that means they're going back and forth with the bidding now because nobody can take me out. Regardless of the government little stalkers and regardless of the government spying and regardless of how they're going to study and watch me and experiment on me, which is all illegal. It's all illegal. Who are the ones that are standing up for my rights to say, this is illegal beyond all fuck? Nobody in any company, nobody in any group has any right to do what has been done to me on one single day. If you go through a day, what's been done to me on one day is not legal on any realm, on any idea of any imagination. That's why the heavens had to step in. The heavens are stepping in on every level because it is so egregious and so illegal and so corrupt at so many levels. How did all of this occur from the day that I was born up until now, and I still haven't received one penny? I haven't received one inference of money coming back to me on my inheritances, on my money, on things that are meant to be always legally mine. I was already meant to live my best life out to the people, healing the people, talking with the people, creating new systems, feeding the tummies that are people that are poor. I'm supposed to be already doing this. This is how illegal and corrupt things have been. And people in the judicial, people in policing, and people in the communities are paying each other back and forth and bribing each other back and forth. All they fucking care about is not getting their involvement of their karma and not being accountable. They don't care about the damage they're doing to timelines, the damage they're doing to the collective. They don't care about the illegal stuff that has been going on that has kept me from living my best life. And if I live my best life, what does that mean? That means the collective lives their best life. This is how intuitively, and this is how substantially I am sown within this collective. And they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't care. Because the misogyny, the arrogance, the ignorance towards energy, the ignorance of spirit, the ignorance of God has been so much so. There's so much ignorance about spirit and energy and God. So much ignorance. And every human has to go within and say, who am I today? And how can I offer spirit into my life? How can I invite and I can create harmony with spirit into my life? Because what I've been taught and told, everything that I've been taught and told in 3D, it's absolutely needed to be absolutely close the door on and start brand new. And you can take the little tiny bits and pieces. You can take the tiny little bits and pieces that work for you and bring it forward. And add it to your spiritual regime. Clearing your fields, understanding the sequencing of event means there's bigger things and bigger alignments that are coming through. You know, the alignments. All of those things are about you being in placement for your soul's blueprint. Every human has a unique soul's blueprint. There are no two soul blueprints that are the same. Every human has a unique soul's blueprint, and it's based on where you've been, what realms you've been on, what dimensions you've been on, what planets you've been on, what gifts are you coming forward, and if you're following your light, and if you're integrating your light, and if you're integrating all your lessons and your soul lessons, and you're clearing away the density, you're alchemizing the density, then you get your codons activated, you get your fields activated, you get your fields cleared, you're clearing away the demons and the entities, you're clearing away the attachments, you're clearing away all the things that are in your field, and especially if you're playing with dark occult, you're getting more and more things in your field. Again, people are just not informed. They're just not informed when they play with these things. The debauchery that's going on with the disregard of your life force, if you're not caring for your life force, the deities and the energies and the entities and the attachments that you have on your sexual life force, they're like living with little devils inside your body and outside your field. And they're absolute energies that help create bad luck for you. They help create bad choices. And then on top of that, that's also playing on top of those that have early dementia, those that have, any type of mental illness that are already, especially the autistic. I mean, it's just, there's so much. There is so much corruption. So much corruption. And these people that are in the corruption, if I sat at a table with every single one of these government bodies they're still working right now, that are in these human hunting, human experimenting, human testing programs, MK Ultra, Project Stargate, there's still other programs that are going on right now because they're still testing, they're still spying, and they're still stalking and following me. They're still studying me, and it's illegal for them to do so, along with other light workers that they're doing this too. If they were to sit at a table with me and they were to put these pieces of paper, whatever their agenda is, and they said, okay, this is what we've done, here's the results, here's the analysis, here's our findings, and here's what we do. And if they were to show it to me in an unbiased experience, and I would say, you understand that this, and this, and this is going into direct detriment to the collective this, and this, and this. I would show them the connection, and I would show it blatantly before them, and I would say, all of those that are autistic, your technological warfare is affecting those that are autistic. Your weather warfare and all that you're doing with chemtrails is affecting this, and this. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. The highest vibration for humanity in our evolution is light consciousness and light wisdoms and light intelligence. Absolutely. There is no need for space travel to have the type of fuel that a space vehicle does have here on this planet, because it's highly dangerous. The rockets that they send up in space are highly dangerous with the people in them. It's not needed. There's higher vibrational ways of travel. But that's just the consciousness level. The intelligence level is very low. So they send people up in a rocket with really bad fuel. That's why so many rockets have blown up. And that's just one example. Chemtrails, another example. Nuclear warheads, another example. I can go on and on and on. We can go on all day. So if I had the world leaders sitting at the table, all of us with the celestial beings and the celestial channels, just as Cryon has done, Lee Carroll, and we actually sat down, we said, okay, let's talk about these things. Let's talk about the things of what you're doing. What are your agendas? How's the money coming in? Who are the monies coming from? Who's supporting these things? Who's supporting and who's funding this? What are the affiliate businesses? And we'll actually dissect it. Who are the affiliate businesses? Where's their money coming from? Where's the money going to? With the gun trade and the gun wars and all of those things. We'll one by one, and we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. We will talk about it. We'll talk about everything that their agendas have been doing to the people. So certain people, and they've been absolutely testing certain people. Because if they weren't testing certain people, and if there was no problem, and if there was no issues, I would have already had my money. there would have already been charges laid and arrests made. But YouTube is still taking and pilfering. Whoever is doing the pilfering and wherever those views are going, that's still occurring. I put up the upload the other day. Every time I upload, you see the views that are being pilfered and you see the subscribers that have 0. If it's a respectful question about consciousness, you can ask your question. So that's all that's needed is the world leaders to sit and have a discussion and say, let's talk about this. But they don't, because they want to continue with their agendas. So then, therefore, then. Are these people really should be in leadership? Should these people really be in leadership if they've already been told where they sit and what they're doing is so wrong and so against universal laws and spiritual laws? Human testing, human experimenting are against human and universal laws. What they have been doing is absolutely wrong, and they're not being accountable for it. This is one of the reasons why they have not come forward to make right what they have done to me, because they refuse to be accountable on what they have done. And I'm not the only one. There's many, many others, but the many, many others, some of them have just lost the will to fight. This is what they hope for. They hope you lose the will to fight. They hope you create suicide for yourself. Or they hope you get so sick, or they hope you get so mentally deranged that you don't ever press charges. Those are their hopes. They actually hope these things. Do you think COVID was an accident? It wasn't an accident. It was intentional. And that will be proven. What else do you want to talk about? You want to get real? That's why they stalk me, because they can't hide their deeds. There will be those of us coming forward that will absolutely, through the love and the grace of God, God has had enough. Planet Earth will ascend. It doesn't matter who the leaders are. There will be more and more truth talkers. There will be more and more whistleblowers that will come out and say, I was involved in these things. I want my forgiveness. I want my retribution. God, can we please, if I come forward as a whistleblower for the purity of my heart, can we please come forward, and can we please, if I whistleblow on this, can I please have some of my karma redeemed? And God will work that out with you. Whistleblowers are like that. Whistleblowers will help clear their karma by doing what's right. That's why I've said from day one, if you want to clear your karma and if you want a path on eternal light, if you choose to have eternal light and not go into darkness and mud, because that's what hell is, it's just darkness, mud. Spirit of creation of all creation is God creator, source creator. There is only source creator. It's all life. Source creator has been shown to me and been seen to me and is the fabric of my very breath. God is everything. Source is everything. I wouldn't still be alive if there wasn't source creator. I'm not here to talk about anybody else's beliefs. God is. Source is. Source is. It's not a man that lives in the sky. Source is. Source is all life. Source is all life. The celestials, the cetaceans, the bugs, the insects, the trees. Source knows all life. Source is all life. Source is the science of life. The science of life and the life of science, that's God. God is all life. From a quark to a planet to a galaxy to the multiverse, God is. The wisdoms of all information moving back and forth on a string of a gossamer web, that's God. God is. God speaking to a million different children all at once, God is. Source is. The breath of all life is. Choose to believe or not to believe, that's not my care. I don't care. I speak of higher vibrational wisdoms of light. God is light. God is all things. God is all things. God is all things. God is also the darkness. And God is showing you that for eternal life and for evolution, there are certain alchemic experiences that you must have, because that is life. That is the science of life. There must be alchemy. And if you're not alchemizing the darkness, you will remain in darkness. It can be no other way. It's still science. At the end of the day, it's still science. And God is showing you for eternal life, you must alchemize, because right now you're sitting in a dark place. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get yourself scientifically out of it? You can't take a fast pill. You cannot take a fast pill to get your consciousness raised. You just simply can't. Your brain has to be enhanced and adjusted. Your body has to be adjusted to the light. Your body cannot just take on a whole bunch of light. You can't just pop into a 5D planet. You just can't. Anybody telling you that is absolutely, utterly wrong. They're misinformed and they're ignorant. Anybody telling you in a 3D cult and coven of hate and sacrificing and conjuring and black magic, if you're sitting in your little kitchen and you're talking about your next voodoo you're going to do and the next spells you're going to do, and your cult coven people tell you, and your leaders of your cult coven people tell you, that live in incest, that live in all of the debauchery that goes on in some of these cults and covens, the ones that are attacking me and are targeting me. These people that think that they're going to take on a 5D person's gifts and skills and talents that are consciously earned at a 5D consciousness level, just like I cannot earn a 9-dimensional consciousness gifts and skills of being a 9th dimensional being, I'm not in a vibrational match. I'm not able to take on a 9th dimensional person's gifts and skills. What is dimension? Information and vibration. That 3D person doesn't have the information and they don't have the vibration for my gifts. They will never, ever, 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 in a billion fucking evers, they will never, ever, ever take on my gifts or skills. And yet they spend millions to try and sacrifice me. Where is the intelligence in this? Draw it out. The dark occultism, people in their societies and in their covens and in their worlds of wrong and misinformed beliefs. If they sit at a table with their group and they conjure to a deity, and this deity thinks they're going to get them a higher consciousness, a 6th or 7th dimensional consciousness, gift or skill, because they want to take out the person that said no to them and rejected them because they just didn't like them because they lived in a bunch of lies. I don't want to have anything to do with people from Calgary and the people from my past because of how they behave. They behave with zero integrity and zero morals. I don't want to be around any of them. I don't respect any of them. I don't respect what they've done to people. I don't respect how they go about life. They're still a part of Source. I accept it and I respect it on that Source level. And I can say you're a part of Source, you're a part of the story, I accept you, I honor you, thank you for the lessons, thank you for the soul lessons. I don't want to be engaged around you anymore. And you can't force me to be engaged with you. You can't force me to be a part of your coven. You can't enforce me to be in your little group because you've sold my name back and forth and now you owe a whole bunch of money to some other cult. That's not my fault. You chose to take the criminal way out. That's your choice. It's not mine. As far as I'm concerned, Source and my spiritual laws and my spiritual abilities are based on me and my will. Thy will be done. That's my will. That's my life. That's my soul. I make my soul. I destine it. I write it. Nobody else writing my name on a piece of paper has shit over me, and that's their problem. So let them go and owe whoever they're going to owe. It has nothing to do with me. I don't want to have anything to do with anybody from my past. Everybody is forgiven. You're all forgiven. The more that you enforce and try and get in my life and think that you're going to be partners with me, and you absolutely think that you're going to be my person, you're going to be this and you're going to be that, you're delusional. There is no vibrational match. There is no vibrational match. There isn't. There's no vibrational match. And even if there was a vibrational match, I still would not ever want to be with you. I just don't. I'm attracted to different things now. I've grown beyond you. And I've said it 8 million times and my voice is not being respected and it's not being heard. And that goes against my human rights. And it will be a restraining order that's next. Because I deserve to be protected. I deserve to be respected. And I deserve to have my words said. There will never ever be anything from anybody from the past. I don't wish it in any level. And the day I walked away and the day that I started my divorce 8 years ago, 8 years has been this experience. It's been 8 years of estrangement. I've been here on my own for 6 years. 6 years of my being on my own. There's nothing ever, anything will be between the past. It's over. Let it go and move on. Everybody needs to move the fuck on. Stay out of my energy. Stay out of my lane for the billionth time. I will put restraining orders. I will put protection orders because I deserve to have a life without being thrown magic and cock-blocking spells and people that think they're going to direct my life and tell me who I'm going to be and who I'm going to be with. It is against every human liberty, every law that has ever been written about human rights and the basic bare minimum treatment of a human. These people have crossed. And it's not okay. And again, if you think somebody operating at a low third dimensional vibration in these types of behaviors to dominate and control and have power over others and to tell people who they're going to see and who they're not going to see and destroy them and sabotage them with years and years of spell work. We're talking years and years and years and years of spell work. There is nothing on anything that would ever be okay on any level, mentally, physically, emotionally, biophysically, how it affects the body, how it affects everything within the body, your cells, your fields. This is not okay on any level. It's egregious on the highest vibrational fucking levels. It goes against all the spiritual laws, the Akash traveling and the Akash tunneling and the dream raping and the consciousness raping and everything that has been done on my path. There is nothing on any level that is any amount that's legal. None of it is legal. None of it's legal on any level. It is egregious, cruel and unusual. Anybody that's operating at the lowest vibration of a 3D experience thinks they're going to get anything of a 5D. You absolutely won't. You won't. There are beings in the heavens laughing at that. You have beings that are 13 dimensions higher than you, thousands and thousands of beings that would say, are you kidding me? That's never going to happen. It will get closed off, turned off. All your gifts will be stripped. It's ridiculous. It's like giving them. It's like giving a gun or a weapon to a 3-year-old that's having a tantrum. It's not going to happen. You're not intelligent, and it's ignorant on every level. You don't understand energy. You don't understand spiritual order at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a speck. So these cults and covens that would ever say, go and take that person out. You're going to get their gifts. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. And then we're going to pass money back and forth. And then we're going to put it on the black web. And we're going to make money on this. And we're going to make money on that. You're playing with your life. It gets all dark. It's all negative. It's all karma. You have to clear out. You have to clear it out. You have to clear your karma. Every thought, every word, every deed, you have to be responsible for. You're not going to get a fast pill. No deity is going to give you the powers of a fifth dimensional person. They won't. You can't handle it. You're not entrained. You're not prepared. Your body's not prepared. Your brain's not prepared. You're not prepared for multidimensionality. That's what you have to. The soul's journey, the dodecahedron, the things that we talk about on my channel, it's a very sacred process. You have a dodecahedron, and every one of these soul aspects provide you so much juice and so much wisdom and so much intelligence of the journeys that you've been through. So soak it up. Again, do your ascension path work. If you're not doing the ascension path work, you're not going to gain the benefits of everything you've been through and why. You're the only person that can say, when I actually went through that dark night of the soul, I felt spirit come into my body and help me heal things. Nobody can say that. It's only your experience with God, and that's why the right use of free will and non-interference is so important and valuable across this universe. That's why the Celestials just won't step in and fix something unless they absolutely have to, unless God has said go and fix it. And they have, and they will. But your path with Source Creator and absolutely understanding that you and Source are together in this ride, step by step, foot and foot, shoulder to shoulder. If you're not doing the work and if you're not doing your ascension path work, you'll never know. And that's why questions like this, how do you know there's a God? Well, because if you're doing the ascension path work, you're going to know there's a God. You're going to know that God is with you, Spirit is with you. And in those moments where they're having 20 and 30 people do spell work on you and 30 people sign on to do hate work on you, that Spirit's with you. I'm not worried at all. I've got angels and I've got celestials and I've got ancestors all over me. That's how I know there's God, because it's the hate on the line, it's the hate in the collective, and it's the hate because I am who I am and I want to be who I am. I'm not going to conform to utter abuse. Abuse is fucking abuse. It's not okay, people. Doing spell work on one person for their entire life, it's not fucking okay. And the governments know what they've been doing, and they're not accountable. They send stalking. It's not okay. I show pictures of the people that stalk me. It's not okay. It's illegal. It is illegal. And if there wasn't a problem, then the monies would be in my account, but it hasn't been. It's been sent to the people in the cults and the covens. So why are the cults and the covens making money off trying to kill people? Who's directing it? Every light worker that I have had on my channel, the aligned readers, every single one of them have been stalked. Every single one of them have been gang stalked. Every single one of them have been followed. Every single one of them had anyone in their family do hexes and curses and spell work on them. Every single one of them. Every single one of these aligned readers have had these same exact experiences, except they haven't had the ones to my degree. Because the people in the collective and the people in the governments know exactly who I am and what my voice is. And it's been supported and it's been paid for. And they come on with their same comments all the time. You're crazy, you're crazy, crazy. Well, why did you come on my channel then? Why did you come on my channel? It's free will. So there's a reason why you're coming on my channel, is because you're paid as a little minion, as a little bot. You're a hate bot. And off you go. Because that's what happens. That's what happens when you have all of those energies come at you all the time, all the time, all the time, and you say there's no difference, there's no this and there's no that. Go talk to any one of the aligned readers that I put on my channel. Every single one of them have been attacked. Every single one of them have been gang stalked. Every single one of them have been followed. Every single one of them have been sabotaged. Every single aligned reader has been sabotaged in their jobs. And it's okay until the actual cults and covens start having their jobs affected, which is happening right now. They're getting karma. The people in the cults and the people in the covens, they're getting their karma right now, and all of their jobs and everything that is in their life is now being affected, as God said it would. You are going to be affected because you cannot continue to just arbitrarily make false accusations, and you cannot arbitrarily put power of attorneys on someone where you have never gone through a due process. You've never given signatures. There's no rhyme or reason for anybody to have a power of attorney on somebody that's a genius, just because I want to express myself in a different and unique way. I create and I manifest and I express God in my unique way. So what about the billions of other people on this YouTube platform that also do that? There's billions of channels on YouTube that express God in different ways. What's the problem with that? They're not shadow banned. Their videos don't get pilfered. Mine do. Why do mine get pilfered? Why are mine being pilfered? Why is there minions of 30 and 40 and 50 that are coming at me doing magic every day and coming on my live stream? Why is that? Why? Why can I not express myself like Daniel or Lee Carroll? Go onto their live streams and you check the difference. Investigate it. These investigations have to be done. Who are paying these minions to come on and hate? This is a free will channel. If they don't like the channel, then get off. Why do they come on and do their hate? It's free will because they're getting paid. Thank you for your nice comment. We're talking about consciousness. Yes, it's live. It's a live chat stream. So anyways, we're going to talk. Sequencing of events are very key at this time because it's based on your consciousness and the activations that you've had. Remember, we're talking about activations, the activations in your consciousness, which are your DNA activations, and the activations in your field and the activations in your chakras that take your consciousness from one level to another, but you have to do your alchemy first. You have to transmute your dense alchemy. You have to transmute your beliefs. If you have a lower belief, you're not going to transmute it unless you choose to. That's what's called alchemy. You have to look at your beliefs. That's what I call Ascension Pathwork every day. Go read my books. Ascension Pathwork every day. Look at your beliefs and your perspectives. That's how you transmute and give yourself love and forgiveness. So purge. That's what's called the dark night of the soul. You're purging those dark, dense beliefs. And you're choosing something that aligns with you. Right? And the sequencing our events are those things that the universe is working out with you. Your guides are working out with you. Your teams are working out with you. Your celestial teams, your guides, the universe, God. Everybody is working on your behalf, your greater good, to ensure that they're going to slide you into place. And so there is a sequencing of events that has to occur. The sequencing of events is exactly that, what I've just talked about. It's alchemy. You're looking at your beliefs and your perspectives. You're choosing to release and churn and alchemize and transmute those lower dense beliefs. Like you say, whatever your lower dense belief is, could be 1 in a billion, doesn't matter what they are. Then that sequencing of events, you've released that density. Then the next sequencing of events are the DNA allocation or the DNA activations, your field activations, your soul activations, and then the person's coming into you, stand in front of you next because you've now alchemized enough to be in front of another person that's of a higher energy. And therefore you're going to work together. Those are the sequencing of events. Things are having to be moved and shifted so that you can be with the tribe that you're meant to be with. Again, God moved me and my teams moved because there's no way I would have survived back in Calgary. They would have killed me. That was their intention. Their intention was to sacrifice me for their cult or coven. So again, this has to be all investigated at the top. Why are these global hate groups sacrificing people for the name of their cult and coven to get a gain or a win for their cult and coven? It's fucking insane. It's like who in anybody's mind thinks that sacrificing is okay? We need to sacrifice for our coven. It's like a game. It's a hunting game. It's a hunting game of humans, and it's not okay. I'm calling it out. I'm the only one that survived, and it's going to go out right up to the top. And if the governments aren't going to be accountable, then God is going to keep pulling everybody out. Everyone's going to keep getting karma. Everyone that has been affected by this court case, my specific experience, right from the beginning all the way till now. From the moment that I was born, and everything was fabricated from the moment I was born. Everybody that has been involved that they've got involved, that they've lured involved, that they bribed to be involved, that they got in their fucking mess, everybody will get karma, and they're going to keep getting karma every day until it is balanced and made right, because this is called evolution. And we're not going to move forward with old, lying, just messy timelines. It will be cleared. It will be broken up on every level. Every lie, every manipulation, everything that has been done has to be made right. This is evolution, and we're moving in 5D. And there's been a lot of corruption on my soul, and it will be made right. That is the Father's will. And there will be more and more legions. There will be more and more ancestors. There will be more and more beings that will come and support this clearing out and cleaning out and making right of my life. Make no mistake about it. There are people joining my tribe and my team every day. It doesn't matter that the governments don't want to be accountable. It doesn't matter who's who. It doesn't matter what title they have or how much money they have or what their next agenda, or what their next scheme, next plot, next people they have coming in, a new practitioner. It doesn't matter how and what and who is going to go on that they think they're going to keep attacking me and keep being non-accountable and keep being separative and keep this and keep that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what 3D Earth tries to do to not have me in my destiny and not be accountable for their horrible, horrible, cruel, and unusual deeds and malicious deeds that have been done, that have been on 100% right from day one illegal. Illegal, illegal, illegal on every step of the way. It's been illegal as fuck. It doesn't matter what's being done. It doesn't matter how many dark minions they gather. It doesn't matter what is being done. There are more and more legions that are coming to support and make sure that everything is made right, because this is evolution and this is ascension. Ascension will not go into 5D if this remains as unbalanced and as corrupted as had been. And my life story is very pivotal for the human collective to learn many soul lessons from, and to create new systems from, to create new ways from, to learn higher ways of living in one way of being light. I get to talk about living in light and learning from light and being wise as light and being a genius as light and being a star seed as light. I get to live and be my life, and I get to express it however I want to express it. If I want to sing, if I want to dance, if I want to create beauty, if I want to create my own clothing line, I get to express and be whoever I want. Nobody's going to suppress me. Nobody's going to subjugate me. I get to learn and grow and be as smart and as wise as I want. I get to. And there's been a lot of illegal programs that have not only targeted me, but many other starseeds and many other high-functioning, high-wise, high-intentional beings, because we're smarter and we can run circles around most of you. So that's fine, but why can't we use this for the greater good? Why can't we use this for new systems to make everybody eat and be happy and have everybody have education, everybody have access to light wisdom? Why can't that? Why can't this be a thing? Everybody has access to light. Everybody has access to light. It's not okay when the collective governments and higher ups and the elites that have the money and the elites that have the deep pockets suppress my channel when it should be offered to the all, because Ascension is going to keep going. And what's going to happen to those people that need to know how to heal? What's going to happen when the information's not there? The governments have made a lot of little monsters. They've had these little programs and they've had these little targeting and they've done their little MK Ultras and they've created a lot of little monsters, and they're going to have to be accountable for it. I've survived to speak out against it. There's a reason why I survived. There's a reason why God had to bring me back 4 times. My teams had to put me back together 4 times because of the egregiousness of these people and their agendas. They're not going to keep doing what they're doing. And it doesn't matter how many people they try and bring against me. It does not matter. There are legions that see and know every act and every will and every deed. There are celestials in every room. They will never, ever, 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 in a billion evers, they will never, ever win. And it's being shown every day. So if they want to keep fighting for the win, they're just going to keep being moved off to Epstein Earth in their lower vibrational universe, and they're going to go into entropy and extinction, and they will all kind of blow themselves up. Because that's what their intentions are. So it can be no other way. Everything will always come back. Whatever you intend is coming back to you. Whatever you intend is coming back to you. Whatever you intend is coming back to you. There is a spiritual protocol. Spiritual protocol is every day align with the universal laws. Who are you? What do you exist with? And what's going on within you? Right use of free will and non-interference. Stay out of everybody's lane. You don't have a right to do spell work on anybody outside of yourself. You don't have a right to remote view, to monitor spirits, and you don't have a right to do anything on anybody else's life. Stay attention to your own. You're here for a spiritual journey for your own soul. Stay out of people's lanes. Stay out of people's lives. Nobody from the past has any right, not even an ounce, not even a speck of salt. Nobody has an ounce of anything to say who I'm going to be with and that you're going to be my person. You're not. You will never be my person, ever. In a million evers, in a million other lifetimes, ever. You have lost your spiritual divinity because you have done nothing but continually abuse and attack and press your sabotaging into my life to make you look right and everybody else look wrong. Where you have done all the crimes, you have done the false accusing, you have done the false defamation, you've done everything to bring my life hell. You will never, ever be a part of my life if this is how you behave. Ever. You will never step beside me. We're never going to have coffee. We're never going to be anything because all you do is incite hate and separation and death upon me. 45 sacrifices on my life. We're not pals. I have grown beyond you. You're all forgiven. If you choose not to repay me, then God will bring your karma in however God does, because you've earned it. You've earned your karma. You've done nothing to make anything right. Stay away from me. If you choose to bring your confessions forward, it must go through the authorities because these are legal offenses and these are legal crimes. And everybody in the judicial system and the policing system and the banking system and the wills and estate systems and the insurance systems, everybody that's been involved on making money on my name illegally will have to be involved, and there will be obviously charges pressed because they're illegal offenses. They're illegal crimes, and I'm going to be suing a lot of people and a lot of cities and a lot of corporations and a lot of businesses because you didn't have a right. And I will survive for that very primary reason, because these will be human stories that I have to take to the collective to learn from. How do you reclaim your power? How do you reclaim your voice? How do you work with spirit? What is the alliance with light that you have? That's my 4th book, The Alliance with Light. Nobody that's in the lower 3D, that they say that they can be and have my gifts, and they take my content and they copy my content, they stand in front of their church and they stand in front of their little pulpit and whoever they're standing in front of, and then they just recite the words that I've given. That has nothing to do with their connection with spirit because they're not connected. That has nothing to do with the Christ consciousness they have because they don't have any Christ consciousness because there's no connection with spirit. They don't have any codes. They're not offering any codes. They don't know anything about consciousness on any level. And if they were to stand in front of me, we would have both of us on stage and we would actually ask some of these questions about consciousness, ask them some of the questions about the universe. They would never stand on stage with me because they're not aligned. They're not informed. They have no idea what consciousness is. And if they did, they would just recite it out of a book. They're not connected. They don't know how to go on 100 different tangents out of their own consciousness. They don't know how to rise up to meet God. They don't know how to rise up to go to the 7th dimension, 8th dimension, 9th dimension. They're not aligned. They have no idea about the multidimensional bodies. They have no idea what the pineal does. They have no idea how to feel the pineal. They have no idea how to clear the pineal. They can just read something off the internet and say, okay, I know it, but you're not connected with spirit. If you were to stand on stage and go into meditation and tell the crowd, what is your current messages? What are the current alignments? What is this and what is that? You have no connection with consciousness. You're a low vibrating person and all you're doing is copying people. So you can't fool everybody all the time because now people are waking up. Now there's actually seers. Now all the spell work's being broken. Now all the veils of illusions are coming down. Now all the fog of the spell work is being cleared and cleansed. There's so many angels and there's so many ancestors that are working on clearing the dark energies from all this magic. And the courtrooms are going to be clean and the judges are going to be clean and these decisions will be made in a clean way. Make no mistake about that. There are legions and legions and legions coming on board to make sure that this is going to go just. Because enough is enough of fucking enough. Enough corruption. I am meant to be in a leadership role and I will be, and I am. My destiny is written by me and God only. I am that I am. I will have my speech of God and God only. I am that I am, and I will speak of God and however God inspires me. I am that I am. Yes, I am a hybrid being, and yes, I am a hybrid human, which means that I have a lot of celestial DNA for the greater good. I've never once in all my initiations done any harm to anybody, and I move wormies off to the soil and where it's nice and wet for them because they do great work for the earth. And that's not anything that any of these leaders can say that they do because they don't. I see their soul and I read it. Now, every day that nobody wants to make themselves right in the deeds that they've done against me, that's your choice and that's your karma, and you will never come out of darkness. And that's just a truth. That is a basic fucking truth. You have to earn your soul's progression. You have to earn your soul's consciousness. That is a truth. Go talk to any channeler out there today. And I'm talking the ones that are aligned and the ones that are initiated by God. Talk to any channeler, book an appointment with them, and you ask them the questions, and they will tell you exactly what I've said. I am nothing but truth 100, and God has plans for me. And after 50 years of being attacked and being bullied and being moved out of my home how many times, and being followed and stalked every day of my life, and being tested and experimented on. I have my right to be a little ticked off now and then, because it's been egregious. And there's been no charges laid, and there's been nothing brought to me, not one penny. And yet these people are still making false accusations so that they don't have to be accountable. It's disgusting. And it's not going to change your karma. Your karma is still going to be your karma. I'm going to continue talking about live wisdoms. I'm going to continue talking about the sequencing of events that is. You choose to alchemize any of your densities, and you're going to have a new sequencing of events, and people are going to be placed before you. People, places, and things, and that's what God does. That's what Spirit does. Because you're creating the energy vibrational change within you. It's got to come from within first. If you got nothing within, then nothing without's going to be. If you got nothing above, nothing below is going to be. And that's just the way it is. That's quantum facts. You can never be light if all you are is dark. You can never carry a 5D light body. You can never carry a 5D light gift. You can never have a 5D light brain. There is no way a 5D light brain is going to stick within a 3D low vibrational brain. There just won't. You will never carry the gifts of a 5D. You just won't. So anybody in those cults and covens, and this is what you're being told, that this deity is going to give you a 5D light initiated woman that has been initiated with all world leaders on this planet. I am the only one that has. And there has been no deeds that have been done wrong. Not one. And I am of great power. That's why you will never harvest me to be on your team. To make sure that I'm gonna be the one that's on your team, and you're gonna make a great weapon out of me. No, I had to be tested. I had to be tested with the best of everybody. And I'm still here. It has nothing to do with ego. It has to do with spirit. Why? Because I'm 100 with spirit. I care about spirit. I care about life. I care about the children being trafficked. I care about the little wormies not getting back to soil. I care. So what's wrong with that? That's been the problem in our collective. Everybody stopped caring, and everybody's being so normalized to abuse. Abuse is not okay, people. If you see and you know of someone being abused, you go to the authorities and you speak of it. And you don't make false accusations that are just nothing but false, because you don't want to take the blame for what you've done, because they're your deeds, they're your thoughts, they're your mind, they're your deeds. Everybody in Calgary, those are your deeds. And you can go to the police as many times as you want, you can lie as many times. It's just more karma you got to clear, because there's no way a light being like myself is going to take an ounce of your dumping. It just can't. The light and the dark aren't going to mix. You can't play both sides. And as I said earlier, the galactic federations did substantiate, and this is a fact, this is a truth, and ask your guides. If you choose to continue in hate and demolishing of life, for the very unnecessary win for you and your cult and your coven and your satanic black group, because you want to put another exploitation video on and make some more money, if that is your game, you will never ever be supported by the federations, and you will never ever be supported by the celestials. Your ancestors will move to those that want to move into eternal light, which means that you'll be open to any demon that wants to eat you whole. That's just the way it is. These are truths. So be it. So when you think you're coming on your channel and you're upsetting me, you're not upsetting me. Your karma is going to be your karma, and you will never be supported. I have the federation supporting me because I love all life and I'm one with God. This is my destiny. I am sown with God through and through, and I will have my destiny. I'm tired of being abused. I'm tired of being sabotaged. I'm tired of being silenced. I'm tired of being thwarted. I'm tired of being treated like I'm crazy. I'm tired of being treated like I have to accusations. I have to fight for my voice every fucking day. There is no person that would have ever survived past what I did. And then the gall and the audacity for people to think you're coming back because you know God's going to bless me anyways, and you want to be my pal now. Well, what happened to the 54 years of you calling me that I wasn't worth anything? And what about all the false accusations? And what about all the false power of attorneys? And what about all the false signatures? And you're making so much money on my name and making so much money on my suffering. You know that I've been homeless for 5.5 years. What happened then? But you know God's going to bless me, so now you want in my pocket. Now the pocket watchers want to be my friend again. You want to come back and tell me how much you love me, how much you've changed, how much you've healed. No. You lost your divinity when you did your 45th sacrifice on me, because you shouldn't have even done second. That's the difference between me and you. I would have never done any sacrifice. I wouldn't even had a conversation. There would have been no conversation had, ever, of any such sacrifice. Life is sacred. And you don't get that, because every day you just attack, and you just attack, and you attack, and you attack. And you bring in more people, and you're more money changing hands, and more money changing hands, and all you're doing is just to see who can bet, bid, and sell, and traffic anybody. Well, I'm here to empower new life. I'm here to empower light wisdoms. I'm here to empower taking your sovereignty back and standing up for yourself. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to empower life. And again, this is a free will channel. So if all you're coming on is telling me how wrong I am and how bad I am and how this and how that, this is a free will channel. Why are you coming on? You're coming on because you're paid to. You're coming on because you want to spew your hate everywhere. So again, you're not bothering me. It's just your karma. Sending you light, brother and sister. Sending you light. These are ascension truths. You will never get through the 5D gates if all you do is hate and you're not willing to look at yourself and transmute your beliefs. Your beliefs are going to get you through ascension or not. You're either going to be aligned with eternal life and alchemize and transmute and be ready for who you are as a higher vibrational being, and you're going to transmute your own belief systems and your own perspectives, or you're not. It's quite easy. Or you're going to stay in the lower vibrations. Earth for humanity and humanity's systems need to be rewritten. They're low vibrational systems and they need to be rewritten. They're not advanced, they're not highly intelligent, and they're not based on light. They're not based on the sacred Trinity. They're not based on the heavens, has nothing to do with religion. They're not based on the collective, and it's not based on Gaia. Every soul's blueprint comes with that sacred Trinity. And if you're doing Ascension daily path work and you're working on your beliefs, you're working on who you are, you're working on all that is going on within you, then you're going to look at your sacred Trinity. How can you offer all that you are to the collective for the highest and the greatest good? If you don't care about the highest and greatest good, again, you're not going to continue. You will be shifted off. It can be no other way. The energy vibration is just too different. There is not a match. There's not a match. A 5D brain and a 5D gifts and a 5D consciousness will not fit in low vibrational 3D. And so the Interpol is making note on all of the IP users here and their comments. So just know that. There is investigations going on to every IP address that comes on. And you all know that. And we are going through with court cases, by the way. And so, dear lighted ones, the sequencing of events is always a byproduct, and it's always the physical showing of the inner work that you've done, the transmutation that you've done. So the sequencing of events is the outer experience manifesting with the inner vibrational experience that you've moved through, right? So you've changed your vibration and now there's a new sequencing of events that's going to shift you into a different reality. So all of that. And of course I didn't get done and finished. Oh, the last few minutes here, anyone that wants an Ascension session, your blueprint, what you're working on right now, where you're going and where you're aligning yourself to. Remember how you create reality is direction, intention, and focus. Direction, intention, and focus is how you're creating, you're manifesting, and you're crafting your reality. So your reality is all about your intentional energy and what you're intending to create out of your consciousness. Your consciousness creates everything. So if you have a low consciousness, then it will be a low creational experience. Your higher consciousness is moving you into a higher consciousness where anything is possible. That's your alignment with light. That's your harmonization with source, creator, spirit. Right? Your higher consciousness, the higher creations you have. The higher light intelligence you have, the higher inventiveness you have. That's why as we raise our consciousness, we're going to be coming up with experiences that are going to be serving all of the problems and the social issues that we've had. So again, Interpol is going to be investigating all of these comments and all of these people that are coming on a free will channel to say and do what they do. They're really trying hard to throw me off, aren't they? And we thank you, all those that have been benevolent in their own energy. So we thank you so much, and we love you so much. Yay, we love you. We love all my loyal clients that have been here since the very beginning. Your ancestors are helping you activate the magic gifts that you have from other timelines, your mystical gifts, which means your metaphysical gifts, because we've studied metaphysical gifts since the beginning of time, right? They're also helping you activate your celestial gifts, which are part and parcel to the shamanic mysticism gifts, although now we're at a kind of a higher state than we've ever been on Earth. So we're going to be more and more integrative of our celestial co-creation. So that's really, really exciting. So I'm really excited about that. I've felt a shift, really profoundly the last 2 weeks, my celestial energies and my celestial families are coming through a lot more. And I know that my energies are really powerful. So I'm learning to work with them in beautiful ways with nature, and really focusing on the nature and the flowers and the soils and things like that. I'm working a lot with the grids and the Arcturians. So it's really great to have those on board. So practice your protection, right? So practice your sealing of your aura at nighttime so that there's no energy things going on in dream time and the consciousness things that occur in dream time, because you're most vulnerable when you're asleep, obviously. And there are those people that do abuse that. And so just clearing and cleansing your field at least twice a day, once in the morning when you wake up, and then you're setting your intentions, your direction, intention, and your focus for the day. And intend that your focus is going to be multidimensional. So you're going to feed your mind great books. You want to read great books. You want to get in nature. You want to soothe yourself. You want to eat good food that are more water rich. You're going to focus on how you feel, and being around people that help you, that of course, I've given you lots of experiences and lots of explorations of those that were really horrible to me. They played all these masks, but they played both sides. This is why they're being moved, because there was too much playing of both sides. They didn't choose to align themselves in light. They chose not to come forward in doing anything to make right. So they continued their choice in the negative, because that's all they do is negative, right? So God's just making sure that their choices are being upheld. That's what they chose. But they also can't force their choice on you, and they can't expect you to change your life and turn your life upside down, because that's their will. Your will is your will, and your choice is your choice for your path and your destiny. And God will support that 100%. Nobody's going to intervene and override somebody else's destiny. They just won't. And these people have been nothing but abusers of that, because it benefits them to have me in their cult and coven because of the deeds and the choices that they've made. So they have to go through their karma. Their karma will teach them their soul's lessons on why hopefully they'll go within and reflect upon why they did what they did, and what they did. And hopefully they'll come to a higher resolve, and they'll go to the authorities with who and what was involved, and they'll suss themselves out, truthfully. And that's the kind of the normal thing to do. If you've caused those types of problems and issues, you have to correct them. And in your correcting of them, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn that Source is always with you. You're going to learn that you could do it, right? It wasn't something impossible. And losing the people that are horrible to you and trying to kill you are the ones you need to lose. If they're trying to kill you, you need to lose those people, right? Like, does it not make sense? Like, why be with people that are like corrupt as fuck and they don't care about people? So if that's what you want to be around, that's what your life is going to look like, and you've chosen to have that be okay. Corruption is not okay. Sacrificing is not okay. It's all illegal. It's against the spiritual laws. It's against spiritual higher order. We are moving into higher order, and I'm going to be a part of making new laws. Because nobody should be attacked their entire life with dark occultism. Just because they say you can't prove it, and then they go around and call you crazy, just because you can't prove it. No, we're going to come up with new laws, because it's insane, and there's people dying every day. I was victim number 9 just in that one city. So it's not okay. It's not okay on any level. Everybody has the right to be exactly who they are. If they choose to practice dark occult, just don't do it on anybody else. That way you're going to be left alone. The ancestors aren't going to stand for it, and Source Creator isn't going to stand for it. You're going to be moved. You don't have a right to keep fucking with people. And I can speak of God in my way. I can speak of Source in my way. And again, this is a free will channel. And if it was to be held in court, it would be exactly that. I get to be exactly who I get to be, like every other YouTube channel. I don't have, it's illegal to silence me. It's illegal to subjugate me, because I have a voice that activates people's remembrance of who they are as a soul. So why is it that I get attacked because of my gifts and my skills? Why is that? It's not okay. And I'm going to stand up for it. I'm going to stand up for myself. It's not okay how they've been treating me. And the policing and the authorities haven't been doing anything. They haven't been helping me. They come out and say, stalk me. They come out and stalk me. Okay, well, thanks for your support. Thanks for your being a great leader. A great leader, you help your people. You help your people. Like this little top that I got, hey? It's really cute. Thank you to my client that sent me a little donation. I got this on sale for $9. Isn't it cute? They're my beautiful clients. So anybody that would like an Ascension session, please donate. My PayPal is in all of my videos. It comes with an email. I get in touch with you from a different emails, because it's the emails that haven't been hacked. I don't go on Facebook. Facebook has been hacked a long time ago. I haven't been on Facebook in like, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years. I haven't been on Facebook, so if anybody's doing anything with my name on it on Facebook, it's not me. I haven't been on in like 7 years. The only thing I go on is Twitter. I rarely go on Twitter. And YouTube. So again, my videos are being pilfered, and that's being blatant because I show the you know, the evidence of it every time I do a video. So anyways, we're gonna go. We're gonna go. Keep working on your light. Keep working on your consciousness. Do things that make you happy and creative and flowing, and get out to Gaia as much as you can. Clear and cleanse your fields as much as you can. Twice a day, I say twice a day, and then work with your healing teams at night. Okay, work with your healing teams at night and eat food that makes you feel good. You know, really feel good food. So I'm really excited to collaborate with some new people. There's new collaborations coming in. There is lots of great collaboration. I've got so many wonderful things that they're giving me to get started on. So I'm really, really excited. Got lots of different things in the pipeline. So I'm really excited to work with some new people and different people in the creative arts industry, or creative arts field. We're calling it a field now, and there's lots of stuff for us to co-create with. So I'm really happy. So thank you, everybody. Donations and sessions, please book it. Collaborations, please book it. Would love to talk to you. And please, if you know or are with anybody that does or is aware of anybody in any of the communities that is abusing through the dark occults, please just take it to the authorities. It's the right thing to do. Nobody deserves to have magic spun at them 24 hours a day because, you know, they want to continue their harvesting and their, you know, sacrificing. It's not okay. So speak up for it. Everybody needs to speak up for what's right because we're building New Earth, right? These are our systems. We are the new leaders. So I empower all of you. Thank you, dear lighted ones. I love you, sweet ones. And we'll say goodbye.